Hi all, in today's video we will learn about two main types of optical lenses. But before we do that, let's first look at the definition of a lens. A lens is a transparent object and light is refracted when it passes through the lens. Lens is used in many optical instruments such as cameras, microscopes, telescopes and optical glasses. So depending upon how the light is refracted, we have two main types of lenses, namely a convergent lens and a divergent lens. The lens on my left hand side is a convergent lens and the lens on the right side is a divergent lens. So let's first look at how convergent lens behave. So here I have a laser beam and a convergent lens, and the way you can recognize a convergent lens is that it gets thicker at the center and thinner at the edges. So let's see what happens when the light beam hits onto the convergent lens surface. So let me turn on the light beam. There's a light beam. So as you can see, when I turn on the light beam after hitting the lens surface, it converges onto a point, and this point where all the light beam gets converged, this is what we call a focal point, or in short a focus. So what convergent lens does is converges the light onto a focal point, and the distance between this focal plane and the focus is what we call a focal length. So it has a focal length of about, let's say, approximately 1.5 inches. Convergent lens have many applications. They are used in microscopes, telescopes and in eyeglasses, especially to correct the far-sightedness. So now let's look at a divergent lens. First of all, the way you can distinguish a divergent lens is that it gets thinner at the center and thicker at the edges, and that's how you can distinguish a divergent lens. So now let me turn on the laser light beam and see what happens. As you can see, the light after hitting the surface of a divergent lens gets diverged. Divergent lens also have a focal point, and the way we find it that if we draw straight lines from all the divergent lines, it will appear to originate from a single point on the same end side of the lens. One thing you might have noticed that the focal point of convergent lens is basically an imaginary focus, which means it doesn't exist in reality, but it has an imaginary focus, as if all the lines are originated from that focus. The focus is on the same side of where the incident beams are coming. So now talking about some of the applications of a divergent lens. Divergent lens is used in several optical correction mechanisms in different devices, and they are also used in eyeglasses, especially to correct the nearsightedness. And that's all. That's about it. Thanks for watching the video.